Hi guys, James from DBG here, and it's time for another Wobble Cam exclusive. Right, one of my regulars, who has great interest in both the Far East during the Second World War, specific Indochina, Burma, also has a great interest in the Vietnam War, and he picked up a load of stuff on eBay. Apparently it was quite cheap. It was a project that someone didn't want anymore. And he sent it to me to see if I could do the best I could with it. Now, yeah, there's an awful lot of here that needs rescuing, and an awful lot that is beyond, I think, my capacity to fix. Some of it is, well, we'll look at the helicopters in a minute, the Hueys. Really badly made. I mean, some of the things have been done, there's no excuse. Basic modelling principles have not been followed by doing this. Also, the way it was packed, yes, there was bubble wrap used, yes, there was those little air-filled plastic sacks and some foam, and yeah, but it was just horrifically packed. I mean, this is the box it came in, a standard Amazon box. I mean, there's a tub full of random bases, a Ziploc bag with decals and random bits and bobs that may be useful, may not be, probably not. All the flying bases for the helicopters, for the Vietnam era stuff. And then we come to do some helicopters. Now, I'm not going to critique the painting. I don't critique other people's painting. If you have fun doing it and if you're happy with the result, that's great. That is it. It's your hobby. You do what you like. I'm not going to start going on about the painting, but the building, I can. I mean, this Skyhawk is actually quite alright. Only the rocket pods have come off that, so that's easily glued on. This Cobra, the way it was packed, all the weapons of the weapon pods came off. The tail rotor broke. Look at the Huey. I mean, this is a old resin and metal one. I mean, you can see the tail boom was glued on wonkily. The engine was glued on wonkily. Just a bit. The decals weren't put on very well, but not a lot you can do about that. Although it has done quite a good job on the shark's mouth. I found that quite difficult when I did those. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's broken tail rotors, broken wings. I mean, it was packed really badly. Now, if we move that over, because I'm not actually doing those, the client is taking that job on. So what we've got here in one of my standard prep trays, we have some armour personnel carriers, some World War II stuff, which I don't quite understand what's doing in the middle of Vietnam, but I don't know enough about Vietnam. Maybe they did use M20 scout cars in Vietnam. There's lots of really oddly based Peter Pig, which is actually really good manufacturer of 15mm stuff, Peter Pig stuff, but the basing is really odd. There's an odd mix of World War II miniatures thrown in there as well. There's Navy SEALs. Then we have some Team Yankee Soviets, which I'm going to paint up as NVA. I mean, the pattern, the infrared pattern is actually done rather well. I don't know who did that. It could be Peter Pig, it could be Command Decision, I'm not sure. And then all these, they're all reasonably well painted. Just need a little bit of touching up, a little bit of shading and definition, which I'm going to do. But yeah, they're not too bad. And these were packed, actually surprisingly much better than the helicopters, which is surprising considering the helicopters are the things that will break. Anyway, sorry, getting Right, and now we're on. Sorry. Now we're on to something. This is again, I think it's Peter Pig, one of the river patrol boats. It's not actually a very well cast miniature, so but yeah, that just needs a little bit of touching up. And now we come on to the, see all that here, that's broken resin. Now I don't know where the resin parts go. They weren't in the box when I unpacked it, but there's no excuse for not packing stuff up properly. If you're selling stuff on eBay, just pack it up properly. I mean, that whole side, oh hang on, there's a bit of resin there. That whole side there has chipped off. It shouldn't be like that. And then we've got the fuel drums that should go on there, and the 85mm guns. I mean, these are all going to get stripped and redone. That's fine. That just needs stripping and repainting. That's fine. No issues there whatsoever. These Soviet anti-aircraft vehicles, again, it's all down. There's some broken resin there, which I'll try and fix. Looks like the top of the gun shield's broken as well. And then over here, this one, the turrets have also been stuck in, which I think is a mistake when it comes to Flames of War. But yeah, 2 of the crewmen are missing heads, and they weren't in the box, and they weren't in any of the Ziploc bags or pots or the extra stuff that came with it. So I've dug out some old US infantry, and the heads may be slightly too big. Focus. Heads may be slightly too big. But yeah, I'm going to stick those on just to make those complete. But yeah, they're being stripped as well. I mean, they're the guns, and the optics. You can see the optics has been bent. Yeah, so yeah, that's not the best. Random boat, don't quite know what that's doing there. Don't know the manufacturer. Again, that just needs a little bit of definition. Now we're on to the helicopters. Right, these are plastic Hueys for Team Yankee, which are also equally usable for Vietnam. And these are absolutely diabolical. I mean, the person who built this, I mean, look at the massive amounts of gapping there. Got a massive crack along the top. The engine compartment is. There's a crack or gapping where the nose is on. Surprisingly, the door gunners are on very well, but I personally wouldn't have stuck them on because you can't get in behind to paint the interior. I would have actually painted the interior before gluing it together. Is that all? Yeah, I think this is a wonky one. I think this tail plane here, or stabilizer, is a piece that you push through or it slots on underneath, but because whoever built it has focus, don't focus on that. Oh, you're being weird. Sorry, this is wobble cam. There we go. Because they neglected the basics of modelling by trimming and filing off the burrs from the sprues and everything, and just glued it back together, and then slapped paint on it and hoped for the best. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting, and also the paint there is way too thick, way too thick. Someone hasn't been listening to Duncan Rhodes. Yeah, so that's, yeah, so I'm going to have to get my fillers and try my best to mitigate the gapping there. And this one is just as bad. You can see there's all the burrs. I mean, the gapping around the engine isn't as bad, but it's still quite bad. And the tailplane is definitely wonky. Yeah, and the gapping around the nose. And that's purely because the person who built it, I mean, maybe it was a small child. Maybe I shouldn't be angry about it. Maybe it was a small child and it was their first kits. I don't know. And there you go. But when it comes down to it, if you don't know, ask someone to help. I'm probably getting a bit too vitriolic about this, but yeah, that's and also they painted straight over bare plastic. They didn't undercoat, which is not a good idea. I mean, you can do it, and you know, I used to when I did airfix kits when I started modelling, but that's when you're using enamels. And yeah, I didn't think I was going to have to strip these, but I am. I am going to have to strip them. I was going to strip the vehicles, but I'm going to have to strip the helicopters as well. I mean, look at that massive gap there. Oh, this is going to be such fun. And then we have one of the older, actually this one isn't that bad. One of the older resin and metal ones, but you can see they haven't taken time to make the fit proper there, because that would have needed some filing on the resin components there. At least the tail and the boom and the tailplanes are straight. The door gunners are on fine, but the actual tail rotor has broken off and it's not in the box. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on for the next few days. Obviously, here in the UK we are locked down again, thanks to our fantastic government, and the total mismanagement of the current situation. I'm not going to go on, but yeah, we're locked down again. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the next few days or so. I can afford to spend quite a lot more time over this than I would normally if I was working. Anyway, as usual, guys, do check the links in the description to our sponsors and affiliates, etc., and the patrons down there, and join me in a few days for hopefully some improvement on these guys. The client has sent a list of instructions and stuff that he wants done with some of the vehicles are going to be bogged down or destroyed and stuff because of the state they're in, etc., so yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy doing that, but it's just getting them to the point where they're ready to paint, which I think is going to be a bit of an issue. Anyway, if I remember, I will try and do some work in progress videos or photos and put them up on the page. And yeah, please don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff and do all the stuff in the descriptions, as I said previously. And thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.